Okay, on this video, I'm gonna show you or recommend you a few things that you should know and should do before you buy a vehicle that is considered salvage. I have nothing against buying a vehicle that is salvage. I think in many occasions you save thousands and thousands of dollars, and in many occasions there are good deals. But this is something that I think that if you actually considering going that route and buying a salvage vehicle, you should do before you buy a salvage vehicle. So let's take a look at this particular one. This is a 2022 Ford Maverick with only 20,000 miles on it, right? So let's take a close look at the pictures, and it's hybrid as well. So it looks like it's in great shape for only $14,000. I mean, it has nice pictures. It's nice, shiny. They did a really good job with the hubcaps. Those aren't wheels, those are hubcaps, but they did really good. It looks really nice. And the interiors looks fine. Everything seems to be working. There's something that it was a red flag immediately, at least for me, when I saw this picture, and it is right here. You can see the airbag light is on. So that alone to me is a red flag. So I decided to dig in deeper and find out a little bit more information about this particular vehicle and the background of this vehicle. So let's take a quick peek at more pictures here. Everything looking good. I mean, it's a nice truck, nice and shiny. So I went ahead and, of course, as you probably know, I went ahead and pulled the reports. I pulled the auto check and pulled the Carfax. The auto check confirmed it's a 2022 Ford Maverick. The rating is really bad just because it's a salvage vehicle. It's confirmed right here that it's a salvage. It had an accident and only had an accident. Right here, it declares that it was severe. So it was a solid impact. The insurance considered this vehicle a total loss. What that means is that the insurance says the amount that we have to pay to repair this vehicle and put it the way it should be, like it was before the accident, is more than what the vehicle is actually worth. So they decided to declare it total loss, and therefore they move it to become a salvage vehicle. Not every total loss is a salvage vehicle. That's a topic for a different video, but at least you have that information here. So last mileage reported, the odometer was in the 30th, and he only had 21,000 or almost 22,000 miles. So on the ad, it says that it has 20,000 miles, when in reality, it has almost 22,000. So it's a little bit of misinformation there. Another red flag for me. And here, the report will give you more details about the accidents. It's a fairly new vehicle, so it doesn't have a whole lot, but we know that it came from Arkansas because the registration and everything, it was made over there. And here's the um, accident reported, the event, the police report, what was filed, and actually give you the actual police report there. And the vehicle was towed, it wasn't drivable. So here's the Carfax as well, which it confirmed pretty much the same thing. The mileage is telling us that it's almost 22,000, it's salvage. And here it will actually show us on the illustration that it had a minor accident, and then he had another one. So he had several events, not only one accident. He has the first one on the rear, which it was back on the 9th, and then here on the 26th of 2024, and then on the 30th of 2024. So last year he had a couple of accidents, and then it was declared on the second accident that was a total loss. And here it tells you, a be careful, it's not a clean title. So like I said, sometimes it's a total loss and it's not necessarily a salvage vehicle, and it will pop up something like this. So you have to do a little bit more research and find out exactly which one is it. But here is pretty much the Carfax and the details and everything that happened with it. So now you have the reports. If Now that you have the reports, now you have a better understanding as far as when was the accident, how many accidents he had, it is actually salvage or it is total loss. You confirm the miles, which is not 20,000, it's almost 22,000. So now the next thing that I recommend you to do is just simply to grab the VIN number and just paste it in Google. This will only work for vehicles that are sold through what is considered salvage auctions. So for example, if you buy a salvage vehicle in Manheim, Odessa, this is not going to work because their IP is really private, it's really restricted, and they don't share that information publicly. But if you buy or are considering buying a vehicle, and this particular vehicle will sold through a what is considered a salvage auction, then you will find that information here. Whether the vehicle will salvage or clean title or total loss, it doesn't matter. If it will sold through one of those auctions, it will be publicly here because their data is more public, and there's a lot of third-party companies that buy that data so they can resell it in package reports and things like that. So for example, just to give the two more popular salvage auctions are Coparts and Insurance Auto Auction. So those, if the vehicles were, there's many more, but if the vehicles were sold through one of these auctions, whether, like I said, is clean title, salvage title, you will be able to do this and find more information online. I copy and pasted the VIN number for that particular vehicle, and you can see there's a bunch of information, and you can see pictures of the original damage. So I went ahead and selected two of all those websites that you saw, because this one particularly, it will give me all the pictures of the original damage, and you can see all the lights on the dashboard. As a matter of fact, let's go back and you can confirm the miles right there, 21,720. So it's not 20,000. You can see the interior of the vehicle, you can see the damage in the front bumper, the headlight, that radiator support is pushed in, so it will have to be working in. You can see the key. You can see on the right side, you can see in the inside, it has a bunch of airbags deployed. Left side as well, the rear side. So you can see more details, and you can see it was a severe damage. The bed is pushed in, so it was a heavy impact. So you can see the airbags on the seat, steering wheel, the roof airbags are deployed. So this will give you a better idea of how that vehicle looked like before the repairs. I mean, you can see on the pictures on Facebook, it looks amazing. It looks nice. It looks clean. I mean, they perhaps did a great job, with all the repairs. But it wasn't as pretty as it looks right now on the pictures on Facebook, right? You can see the accident. It was a big accident. So another website here, it tells me how much whoever is selling it bought it for. So they bought it for $3,700, and now he's asking for almost $14,000. So he's trying to make a profit of about $10,000. Of course, I say profit, not net profit, because I'm pretty sure out of that $3,700, there's auction fees, transportation. The vehicle is in Texas. It was in Arkansas, so he had to brought it in, the repair. So I don't know how much they spend on the repairs, but that gives you an idea how much money they had to work with. So another thing that I did to kind of like understand whether, man, these repairs, and then at least for me, I go one step further just so I can try to understand whether the repairs were done properly or not. And again, this is just for me having a little bit more information. I can't guarantee that because I don't know the guy. I don't know the shop that made the repairs, and I don't know if they did it right or not. But at least with this next step, it gave me a little bit of better understanding whether I think the repairs were done properly or not. So what I would do is just to kind of like guesstimate what parts, based on the pictures that I see, I think we will need if I were to repair this vehicle, right? So I go to this famous website, carpartpro.com. If you don't have an account, you can create an account. It's completely free. And this pretty much is a database of the major junkyards across the nation. You put your information in, put the zip code, and then it will bring a lot of information. It's not going to cover 100% every single junkyard, but it's really helpful and it's a massive network. You can see it says here it has over 200 million car parts in here in the database. So, and based on the pictures, I'm not going to go into detail every single bracket and all this stuff, right? But I know I need airbags, the rear bumper is damaged, the front bumper, fender, the bedside, the tail light, so I can have a kind of like a rough estimate how much perhaps they spend on parts. So I'm gonna press search, and then it's gonna ask me the first one. Let me go with the steering wheel, which I know for a fact it was blown. So that is $256. So let's say $256. Okay. Let me go back. I know I need the roof passenger. I saw that one. So that's another $263. Okay. Let me go back. I know I also saw the seat of the passenger. So let's do the passenger seat. That's another $250. Okay, I have 769 there. So now I'm gonna go to the rear bumper. Let's see. I didn't see any parking assist, so I will go with the cheap, which is the 4-pin without parking assist, because I think that's the basic one. It's $385. Okay, so let me go to the front bumper. Tow hook, I'm not sure. I'm gonna go with no tow hook because I think it's the cheapest one. So this one, it gets a little bit more expensive. It's $500, but you gotta remember too, this is in Houston. I'm not in Houston, but let's go with the cheapest price, um, because I know this is class A, which, and just a side note, whenever you see grade 8, it means that is insurance quality. It means that the part is good. When it's X, it means that there's no grade, so highly likely it has, it says it right here on the description, tears, dent, so it has some damage involved. So you want to find something that is grade 8. So $500. So I add another $500. Then let me go back. And what else we had here? We had the fender. So I think both fenders are damaged, but I think you can repair the one on the left side. On the right side, we have another $90 on the fender. And then let's see the pickup bed. There's nothing in there since it's fairly new and it has to be replaced. So we have a bed completely assembly here for $3,000. I have to account for that. So $3,000. And then the tail light. So we need the right and highly likely the left as well, but there's no clear pictures of that. So I'm gonna go with the tail light, the right side only. I'm gonna go with the cheapest price, $125. So based on that, we're talking about $5,000 on the parts that I can see. I mean, I didn't include the radiator support. I did not include the headlight neither, which I'm pretty sure it was busted. So let's go and let's add the headlight because I'm curious to know how much is the headlight. And let's count for the driver's side headlight, which is right here. And I'm going with the cheapest, what it will be this one. Right side, it's not that bad. Still in Houston, 375. So let's add 375. Still about $5,300. Based on what he paid for it and what roughly he bought on parts. And again, we're not counting radiator supports. We're not counting brackets. That seat, whenever you replace the airbag on the seat, you have to, send it to repair so somebody can sew that back on. and then we don't see the other side, the driver's side, which I'm expecting to see the airbags deploy on that side. So it's a lot of things, a lot of parts that are not included here that I'm pretty sure we're gonna need. So, but based on what we can see and based on my own idea, in conclusion, he spent $3,700 on the purchase of the vehicle, another $5,300. So that put us what? That put us at $9,000, right? The auction fees on these auctions are not cheap. I know that for a fact. So at least he paid another probably $500 to $800 on fees. The transportation, that's another easy $600-700. So I know that he is in the vehicle without the repairs. He's at least $11,000. Guesstimating, of course, guesstimating. This is not a fact. I don't know the guy. I don't know for sure. But based on logic and numbers, it's almost $11,000. And we're not counting for every single part. We're not counting for the repairs themselves because those parts aren't going to put themselves on. Not to count the materials. So even if he repaired this truck himself, you still have to bundle, paint, clear, detail, or he's losing money left and right, or could be the option too. Perhaps he had another truck like this and he had a bunch of parts. But you can see that the numbers doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. So to me, it's a red flag. It's too many questions. It's too severe of a damage. Even though it's a great price and perhaps you see, man, I'm buying a 2022 Ford Maverick for only $14,000. It looked great with only 20,000 or I guess 22,000 miles on it. Is a great deal. I'm pretty sure he will sell it, and I'm pretty sure he will sell it fast too. But again, this is something that to me is not a good deal. So I hope this video was helpful to you. And if you're considering to buying a salvage vehicle, I mean, like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. I think there's many deals out there that are great and you can save thousands of dollars just because it's salvage. But you have to do your due diligence and make sure that you find out exactly the repairs that were done, the conditions that were before the repairs, the Carfax and auto check report, and what the report says, and just do a kind of like a guesstimate. Okay, if based on what I see, I mean, if I go myself and buy these parts and call a shop and see how much they would charge me to fix this vehicle, how much would they charge me? And then you will have a better idea, and then hopefully you can make a sound decision whether do you think that the asking price for the sale of the particular vehicle makes sense, or do you think that they cut corners somewhere? And we know for a fact that based on this truck, they did cut corners somewhere because the airbag light is still on the dashboard. So we know that they cut corners somewhere because the truck is not functioning the way it should be. But again, I hope this video is helpful. It was helpful to you. Leave a comment. And don't forget to visit our website for more information, dfwsafetyrestore.com.